Hello everyone. My little person is having a nap right now, so I thought I'd pop on and do a bit of a colour and chat. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be on here for though. Hopefully she's gone down for a good half an hour, but I'm sure she'll let me know if she wakes up. So I am doing this colouring in Johanna Basford's World of Flowers. It's the second one I've done in this book. The first one I completed and took out and got it framed for my mum for Christmas. So I can't show you that one unfortunately, but it is on my Instagram account if you want to go and check it out. The details are in the description. So yeah, I've chosen a colour palette for this one. I think I'm going to go for the pinks and purples and turquoise. Turquoise seems to be my go-to colour at the moment. So I'm just carrying on with these petals. What I tend to do is put a light layer of the colours that I want to use down first and then go over the top. And I tend to just go over and over and over until I'm happy with that particular petal. So I may be working on one petal for quite a while until I'm happy with it. So I'm using Prismacolors and I'm using Black Cherry, Processed Red and Hot Pink. I'm just using the Black Cherry to outline the petal, give it a bit of depth. So they're the three colours that I want to use. And then I'll just work my way back from the outer edge and try and blend in that darkness, and then end up with the light colour in the middle. And then I'll just keep doing that until I'm happy with it. This is a new hot pink. I got it online as a single, but it seems a bit scratchy. It's not working as well as the other one I had. I lost the other hot pink. I have no idea where it went, which is really frustrating. It's the only crayon that I've ever lost. I guarantee it's probably down the side of the sofa or something, or my daughter's taken it. So I was running low on some of the other Prismacolors I had and just ordered it online. I can't remember what it was called now, the website, because in England you can't, or UK I should say, you can't buy the Prismacolors separately in singles, which is really, really frustrating. So if we want any more, we have to buy them online. Unless anybody knows of anywhere I can buy a single Prismacolor, please let me know. With the Prismacolors, I find I don't need to use a blender pencil because they just blend really well on their own. Whereas if I'm using the polychromos, I do use a blender. I'm just going to go around again with the Black Cherry around the edge. So my daughter and I went to a mum and baby class this morning, which was nice. She got to do lots of playing and I got to do some chatting and drinking some coffee, which is always fun. She's just started walking independently. She's been trying to walk for the last few months, but just recently, in the last few days to a week, she's really started to get it and is now pretty much walking and not crawling or bum shuffling. She actually did a lot of bum shuffling and then started doing a bit of crawling and now walking. So that's really handy because she's starting to get a bit of a heavy lump. She's 19 months old now, and carrying her around was starting to hurt my back a bit. So it's nice that she's finally started walking. My first one, who's 5.5, she's at school at the moment, she also started walking at 19 months. So it must be something to do with my girls, where they don't decide they want to do any walking until then. We bought her some shoes, was it the weekend before last? Because we knew that it was coming to that time now where she was going to start to walk on independently. So we hopped off to Clark's and managed to get some in the sale, which was amazing. Because it was just after the Christmas period, so most of their stock was in sale. We got a good bargain on some shoes, which I'm really pleased with, because as you all know who have children, they grow out their shoes and clothes very, very quickly. So you don't really want to be spending a lot of money on things like that. And then luckily, my older daughter, I kept a lot of her clothes and shoes. So Amy, who is my youngest, unfortunately has been given a lot of her clothes. Elizabeth, who's my oldest, clothes. And now we'll be wearing a lot of Elizabeth's shoes as well. But I like to buy the first pair of shoes and keep them. In their little memory boxes. So yeah, the baby and mummy and baby group, she walked around and played with the other children, and they've got a slide, a little tiny toddler slide, and oh gosh, she loved it. Her birthday's in May, so it might be a good idea to buy her a little slide. We've got a big one, but it's too big for her, so a little tiny slide might be an option for her birthday, because in May it's going to start getting a bit warmer, and they'll start being able to play outside a bit more. So yeah, and what else was she doing? Just playing on the little push along cars they have. Just a nice little experience really for her to go and see other children her age. My friend who I meet there has got twin girls, but they're 13 months now, so they're a lot younger and not quite at the level that Amy is at the moment. So although we see them a lot, it's nice for Amy to socialise with some children that are a bit more her age and her level. And then they get a little snack as well while they're there, which is nice. And all that costs £1 because it's a church group. It's amazing. Those church groups have been my go-to places for the last 5 years because they're so cheap to attend and so good as well. We used to go to another church group when my older daughter was younger, but unfortunately they stopped running. So I had to look for another one, and we found this one, which is just as good. So she's off having a nap. She's had some lunch, had a little nap, and I thought, do you know what I'll do? I'll do some colouring instead of some housework. It's so cold here at the moment. I think it said about 2 degrees in the car, which is really quite cold, and they've even mentioned snow coming maybe next week. I don't think we're going to have a lot of snow. We never tend to have a lot of snow here, but even just a little bit on the ground sort of puts everything to a halt. And I have to drive my older daughter to school. It's about a 10-minute drive, and she just goes to a little village school that's up on a hill. So when it snows, it's really difficult to get the car into the village and then get the car out as well. So hopefully it won't be too bad, because I don't really want her to be missing any school, but we'll see. sure, as I said, it probably won't be that bad. But yeah, it's just bitter, absolutely bitter out there. I'm taking my daughter to school at 8:30 this morning. Gosh, it was so cold. I had to de-ice the car. Oh, I'm using a Tegal sharpener. These are really, really good for the Prismacolors. Really good point. Oh, and Posca pen, just to do some little white dots. Just gives it a bit of extra oomph. So I'm going in with the Process Red. I always tend to use 3 colours because I think it gives it a better depth, especially when it's a bigger piece to colour like this. But for these little bits I just used 2 different colours. Oh, and this circle around the middle was just 1 line, but I added another line because I thought it looked a bit odd. It didn't match the outer. Yeah, so I just drew with pencil, freehand, drew it on, and then over the top of the pencil I just used a black fine liner pen because I just thought it'd look better. And then I think I will do some sort of pastel background, which I think will overlap the lines maybe. Not sure yet. So I've got a couple of things on my Amazon wish list that I just keep looking back at, and one of them is the pan pastels, but they're so expensive. I had some money for my birthday and Christmas, which was my birthday was at the end of the year, and then obviously we've just had Christmas, and I've saved it and put it to the side because with that money I'd really quite like to order the Holbein pencils, but I've still got a bit more to save to get the Holbein pencils, so I keep thinking, shall I just buy the pan pastels instead with the money? But I don't. The thing is, I think I would use the Holbein pencils more than I would use the pan pastels. So, like I said, I've put the money aside. I'm just going to leave it there. Keep putting some money towards it. And then eventually, hopefully, I'll be able to afford the Holbein pencils, which would be lovely, because then I think I would have all the pencil sets that I want. Because I've got Prismacolors, Polychromos, Luminance, Derwent Colour Soft, and then a couple of the cheapy brands like the Black Widows. But yeah, the Holbein, I've got a few Holbein. I think I've got a small set of Holbein. I think it was like 24 set. I just bought a small set a year or 2 ago just to see if I like them, and I do like them, but as we all know, they are very, very pricey pencils. And when you are a stay-at-home mum with 2 small children, you can't really be spending money on expensive pencils when there are shoes to buy. So I'm saving up for the Holbeins, and I will get them eventually. But at the moment I have plenty of pencils to keep me going. And as my husband says, you don't really need them. But it's not about needing, it's about wanting. Sometimes. This pencil rubber from Faber-Castell is excellent. I need to sharpen it. But it does such a good job for those little bits where you've just gone over the lines. I'm colouring a bit further back than I usually would, that's why I seem to be going over the lines a bit more. But it's alright. So I've just stopped listening to a really good audiobook. It's a series by Carla Kovac, and she's got 2 books out at the moment. And then I think the third one comes out, is it the end of this month or the beginning of next month? It comes out soon. And it's got the same detective, Gina Hart, I think her name is. So it's got the same detective, same police people, but then each book has a different mystery thriller to it. So I listened to the first one, which was called The Next Girl. That was ever so good. And it was about a woman that had been kidnapped and being kept in a cellar against her own will, and it was years and years later, and she had a baby with the man who was keeping her against her will, and the man left the baby outside a library, and they found that the baby had the DNA of the lady who'd been kidnapped this 4 years earlier, and you know, they hadn't heard from her for 4 years, so they just assumed that, you know, she'd passed away, or they weren't going to hear from her again. So it was a bit shocking to then find a baby that had her DNA. And then the story goes on from there, and it's really, really good. I would recommend it. And then from listening to that one, I decided to listen to her second one, which was her final hour. And yeah, that was just as good. So I'm really excited about her third one, which I can't remember what it's called, but I've got it on my wish list. So there's a couple of books that are just coming out at the end of this month or the beginning of next month that I've got on my wish list. So I'll have lots to listen to. I do like listening to an audiobook rather than reading a book, because I just don't find I have the time now to sit down and read a book. And by the time I go to bed in the evening, I'm so tired that literally my head hits the pillow and I go to sleep. So sitting up in bed reading is something I can do at the moment. So it's much easier to listen to an audiobook when, you know, I'm colouring, or I'm cooking the dinner, or doing the washing up, or doing any sort of household chores. I put my audiobook on and I can just listen to that while I'm doing them. Makes the boring chores a bit more exciting when I've got something to listen to. And also, I've also got some earphones that I can connect to my phone, and if I go for a walk or something, I can pop those in and listen to the book. I think I need to sharpen this pencil. So before I went to the baby group this morning, I stopped off at Starbucks because I'd had an email to say that they'd got this new coffee in, and it's, I think it was a cereal latte. So I thought, oh, I'll go and try it, because I do like to try the new lattes they have. They had a pumpkin one in autumn, and that was lovely, and then they have the eggnog one at Christmas, and they had a creme brulee one at Christmas too, which was lovely. So I thought I'll pop in, get a takeaway and try this cereal latte. And it was awful. Oh, it's just my taste or what, but oh, it had an awful weird taste to it. And then what I can only assume is cereal, actual big bits of cereal that they'd put on top of the latte. So every time I had a drink, I had this weird textured lump in my mouth which I had to chew. Yeah, so I had half of it and I threw the rest away, which is such a shame, because I love my coffee, and when I don't get a coffee that I like, it is such a disappointment. But like my husband says, why do you try these new things? Why don't you just stay with the things that you know that you like? And I say, because, you know, you've got to try these different things, because you don't know whether you find something else that you might like. But probably was the wrong thing to do this time. I should have just gone in and got my caramel macchiato, which I know I like. Never mind. So how's that looking? You get so much dust from these Prismacolors as well, and I need to stop wiping it. It's a bit of a habit because I've done that up there and I've marked it. But I'm not too worried because I'm going to cover it up with a background. I don't know if it's because I press too hard or what, but I always get this little, look, can you see? Which with the polychromos I don't find I get so much. So I really finished this flower. I think I will do the same colours here because it's obviously the same colour, same flower, sorry. And then I need to sort of put these colours over here, I think, to even it out a bit. Oh, there's a little ladybird there, I've just noticed. That's sweet. And when I was looking through this book to see which picture I wanted to colour, I noticed this page next to it. Oh, I thought, oh my gosh, that would take forever to do. But then I've just been looking at it now thinking, if I used gel pens, that could be quite nice and relaxing and easy to do. Oh, I wanted to show you my finished work in progress that I did in Ivy and Inky Butterfly. Don't know if you can, a bit hard to get it all into camera. But I did the pastel background like I said I was going to, and I finished the toadstools as well. I haven't sprayed it yet, so the pastel's still coming off. But I just did a blue background and then a green one for the leaves at the bottom. Just something quite subtle. I didn't think it needed much more. So that one's done. On to the next Ivy and Inky Butterfly page. I don't know if you can hear that noise, but that's my heating coming on. It's a bit noisy. So I don't have much planned for the weekend. I take my daughter swimming on Saturday morning. My five-year-old. She goes swimming on Saturday mornings, and then she goes to gymnastics afterwards. So it's a bit of a busy Saturday morning for everyone. And then we tend to just do some family stuff on the Sunday, maybe go for a walk, or depending on what the weather's like. We'll see. I've got my local, well, it's not very local, it's probably about a half an hour drive, country park, has a Zog walk. Zog is one of the books by Julia Donaldson. She also wrote The Gruffalo, and a few years ago we went to the Gruffalo hunt and it was really, really good. So we're thinking we might try the Zog one because we've got Zog, and Zog was on over Christmas here on the TV, so we know the story of Zog quite well. We thought we might try that out. I'm not sure if we'll go this weekend, but at some point we'll go. And what you tend to do is you get this little activity pack and you just have to go around this walk where every so often you'll find something that will either be a question that you have to answer, or just you have to spot something, and then at the end they may get something like a sticker or a certificate once they've filled in the whole activity pack. And then when we went to the Gruffalo one, we took the iPad with us because they've got this interactive thing going on that you could stand in specific places. If your child stood there and you aimed the iPad at your child and this special code thing they had on the boards, the Gruffalo characters would pop up, which was very, very good. So you'd get a photo of your child and a Gruffalo character. And at the time, when she was probably about 3.5, she thought that was very, very funny. Obviously, if we're going to have snow, we may not be able to get out. So I think I'll just maybe finish this flower and see how we're getting on after that, because I'm just conscious of the time and I don't want her to be waking up screaming while I'm filming, because that's what she tends to do when she wakes up from a nap. She seems really cross with herself that she's finally succumbed to sleep, because she's a fighter when it comes to sleep. So she wakes up and she screams and gets really cross with me as well, but I let her sleep. And then after a few minutes, she's fine. But she needs that sleep. And it usually helps when I throw a snack at her as well. Not literally throw a snack at her, but give her a snack, sit her on the sofa, put a bit of CBeebies on and give her a snack just to calm down, and she'll be happy after that. And then it won't be long after that I'll need to go and pick Elizabeth up from school. And then the whole evening routine begins of dinner, getting them ready for bed, bedtime stories. Yeah. So I think we're all looking forward to the weekend and having a bit of a break from the weekly school run and work run for my husband. They're doing some building work on outside my house as well, which is very, very noisy. I'm hoping it won't wake her up. I don't know what they're doing. So I've just started getting back into cross stitch again as well. I used to do a lot of cross stitch when I was sort of late teens, and stopped doing it. And then over Christmas I was looking at the kits on the internet and thought I'd quite like to have a go at doing another cross stitch. because I can't really colour on the sofa. I can't sit and put my book up on my legs and colour. It just doesn't work for me. I don't know why. I need to colour at the table. So when I'm sitting there in the evening and the TV's on, I feel a bit like I need to do something. My hands feel a bit restless. So I thought if I got a cross stitch kit, that would be something perfect to do whilst on the sofa. So I ordered myself what am I trying to say? Beach hats. I think it's just 5 beach hats in a row, and then it's got a sandy scene at the bottom and sea in the background. It's quite pretty. It's quite big though. I don't know what I was thinking about getting it so big. I'm not sure how I'm gonna finish doing it, but I've got halfway through of doing one of the beach hats already. And I thought when I've completed it, I might frame it and put it in my bathroom. Let's see what it looks like. If I ever complete it. I'll show you on here. But like I said, it's going to take me a while. I don't know why this one's so scratchy. Let's give it a sharpen and see if that will get rid of it. I know sometimes some Prismacolors can be a bit scratchy. I've heard, do you warm them up or something? I think you can warm them up and then the lead will melt a bit inside, and hopefully that will help. So I could give that a try. So I'm just going back over the black cherry, try and get it to be a bit less deep. Oh, see what I mean about the Prismacolors? Is it because I'm pushing too hard, or does this happen to everybody? I know I am quite heavy-handed. I always have been, even at school when I would do any writing. My teachers used to say that I pressed too hard. I watched a video with Colour with Claire, and she had some sort of brush that she'd bought to get rid of the dust, a special brush. So maybe I should think about looking at one of those, because look, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but because I keep swiping it, the dust of the colours is going onto the white bits of the book. No, I just did it again. That's a habit. I do like putting dots on things. I don't know what colour to do the middle of the flower though. I may just actually do it with the black cherry. I'm not sure what these bits are though. I'll probably just do those green. Yeah, just do the middle bits black cherry again. I'm going over the lines so much. Like I said, I'm used to having my head quite close to the colouring book. Just going to give that another sharpen. I like it really, really sharp. So you can get right up to the line. I've just realised you can't actually really see what I'm doing, can you? My hand keeps going in the way. I need to remember that for my next video. I'm still a newbie at this, so I'm still learning. I also watched my colouring book haul video back and noticed how awful the table looked at the background. So I need to get something to cover up my table. I might have a look at doing that at the weekend. Just a cutting board or something. I know that I've noticed other people just use things like that. Right, I think I might leave it there now because I'm gasping for a drink. I should have brought one with me. I'm pretty sure she's going to wake up any minute, so hopefully I'll be able to do a video over the weekend if I get my husband to maybe take the children out for a bit, because I'd like to do the video on my colouring supplies and how I store them. So I'll try and get that done, and then I'll carry on with this in the meantime and then come back to it in another colouring chat, and maybe do the background as well in a colouring chat. Okay, I'll leave it there for now then. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!